Alright, so Greta Thunberg started striking from school every Friday to protest climate change and the lack of action that this world has taken. And we are here today on this Friday striking for the same reason. Greta Thunberg recently published a book with a compilation of articles from scientists and professors talking about the history of climate change and what we must do now. She emphasizes that it is important to educate ourselves so we know what we are facing. I'm going to read a few quotes from Greta's words in her book. She says, "The transition that we need in order to guarantee a safe future will not appear out of nowhere. It will come from a change in public opinion, and that change has to be created by us. Using whatever effective means we can come up with. It will be driven by how we choose to communicate this story. What we have is morality, is empathy, science, media, and in some fortunate parts of the world, democracy. These are some of the best tools we have right now. We need to use all of them. Democracy is the most precious thing we have. But as we've been reminded far too many times, it is a fragile system. And unless the citizens are well-informed and well-educated in the matters that fundamentally shape their lives, democracy is easily manipulated. The climate and ecological crisis cannot be fixed later on. It cannot be left to anyone to sort out. It has to be us, and it has to be now. But now you and I have been given the historic responsibility to set things right. We have the unfathomably great opportunity to be alive in the most divisive time in the history of humanity. The time has come for us to tell the story and perhaps even change the ending. Together, we can still avoid the worst consequences. We can still avoid catastrophe and start to heal the wounds that we have inflicted. Together, we can do seemingly impossible things. But make no mistake, no one else is going to do this for us. This is up to us, here and now, you and me.
you for coming here today. And thank you especially to the residents of Chester.
Hurrah!
Thank you, Celine Mayfield. I want to thank everybody who's here today, because the reason we're here is because we're standing united. All the Delaware River communities are saying the same thing. No LNG.
Hell no. LNG.
We don't want it in Chester. We don't want it in Delaware County. We don't want it in Marcus Hook. We don't want it in Philadelphia. We don't want it in Eastwick. We don't want it anywhere in the Delaware River watershed, period. United is the only way we're going to win, not by shoving it off to somebody else like the task force was trying to do here to Chester. So to speak to that, we have a few different speakers from a few different groups. We want to represent our other wonderful representative, Hohenstein, who is serving on this task force.
He's been an advocate for us.
He's an advocate for us. He's with the 177th district and is here to say no LNG. Thank you.
Thank you, and yeah, I'll hold Carol's beer when she gets here. And Carol is here yet?
Go ahead,
right. Come on up, Carol. This is your show. I am simply going to say, there's a Quaker phrase, that friend speaks my mind, and Carol, as my friend and colleague in the legislature, speaks my mind. Celine Mayfield spoke my mind. Mr. Roots, Mayor-elect Roots, spoke my mind today, and I got onto this commission specifically because I was worried about my neighborhoods in Philadelphia, which 6 miles along the river up there too. And I realized Port Richmond's concerns are Chester's concerns. Marcus Hook's concerns are Bridesburg's concerns. We all share the same river, and those of us who live upstream have a responsibility to everyone along the river, but especially to those who are in this neighborhood who have become the target of this proposal. And for that, all I'm going to do right now is cede the floor to my honorable colleague and friend, Carol Kazim.
Thank you, Representative Holstein, and thank you to the community and for everybody that showed up and showed out today. The community, the voices were heard today. I know many people have received robocalls from me. It's no secret that I have already delivered a testimony myself for another LNG hearing back in Philadelphia, and I stated to the task force then that if we're going to discuss the city of Chester, we need to be here in the city of Chester. So I do want to thank my colleague, Representative Holstein, as well, for sitting on that task force, and a lot of times, honestly, hearing things that he may not want to hear or not being able to even be agreed upon, despite, the numbers and not being able to have that much support. Also, I just want to thank my councilman, Mr. Roots here, the other testifier, Ms. Celine Mayfield. Come on. I think her speaking alone had already let them know what I had mentioned last time. And I told them that, you're going to be met with opposition. You're going to be met with things like this. And this is something that they're not used to. And this is why it's important for the city of Chester, for the community, for Delaware County to always come out, to speak up and to be around and to make sure you're being heard and to ask questions. Because there are questions that I have already asked and answers that still need to be delivered. So I have sent homework with individuals that's on the task force to still come back and let me know, what would this look like for the city of Chester? What would it look like for the residents? What would it look like revenue? What would it look like for the other businesses that we are yet trying to attract? It's no secret that the city of Chester is under bankruptcy, but I want to see economic development coming in a place where we can see affordable homes, where we can see more supermarkets, when we're looking at our food security. Those are the things that's a problem to me. The things when it comes to our school district. We heard in there a testimony where they talked about the revenue. What would that look like for real estate? The numbers that's supposed to go back to our school district. Yes, there's no secret. There's also a need there too. But there are children that are also in those type of schools are still dealing with asbestos. So when we're bringing in industries like this, my question is always going to be, what would that look like for the health and for the well-being of the residents. I have not put out a public stance on whether I'm supportive of LNG or not, but it is no secret that I am not happy about an LNG coming in this community, especially with everything else that we have already adjacent on that waterfront. It is no secret. However, my task as a legislator, like my colleague here, is to hear the voices and the concerns of the resident. And I just want you to know that I heard each and every one of you.
Hear, hear.
I heard each and every one of you. And this is just all I wanted. I wanted you guys to come in so I could just get a confirmation.
Hear, hear.
So I got my confirmation. So thank you to the community for showing up and for letting us know. My job, I'm going to continue to be educated. I'm going to continue to keep hearing every voice and concerns. I am not an environmentalist, but I know that there are people that have been fighting this for a long time that can educate me on this. And I am the type that's going to go read and do my homework. So that is something that I'm going to continue to pledge to do. And with my colleague here, we're going to continue to fight on the state side to make sure that industries like this, no matter whether it's in Chester, whether it's not in Philadelphia, because a lot of them that's on the task force represent Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, I'm sure, was here to represent, to let them know what they may not want in their community too. So thank you also to our neighbors for showing out today, because they heard you too, because we know these things are already existing in their community. So like I said, I'm just here as a legislator to be there for you. I said it before in the meeting, you guys did not vote me in for me to sit on my behind. So I am going to be out here every step of the way, advocating with you, being there to support you, and I can guarantee you in Harrisburg as well, my representative here is definitely advocating. So he always let me know what's going on with the task force as far as hearings that's supposed to be met, and he's always advocating, whether it's Philadelphia, Chester. So I thank him for all of the support that he's been doing. And to Mr. Councilman Roots, once again, I heard you, because I know you and I have to work hand in hand together moving forward next year. So now I know his stance also on it. So again, to the community, thank you for all of everything you guys been doing. And trust and believe me when I say I heard every one of your concerns. And I will continue to still speak up for each and every one of you. Thank you.
Love you. We're going to hear from Serene Mayfield, the founder and the ongoing light that guides Circle.
Wow. First of all, I'm tired. I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning writing this testimony. We are Circle. We are Chester. We are residents. We are a representation of everything good in our communities. We carry the hopes of they have had 4 hearings and they've never allowed a community person to speak. They've shot my name off the docket as many times as they possibly could. I guess they had no other choice. So, the other day when I was trying to write what I wanted to say, it was really heavy on my heart because I felt the weight of my community. I felt the optimism, I felt the hope.
There you go.
I felt the visions that we have for our community. I felt what we want to project onto our children and our grandchildren. And I'm telling you now, it was a heavy lift. It was heavy. And then I started thinking about, the people in Delaware County who also could not be in the room or have a seat at the table. And, it was immensely heavy. And I had my little cry. And then I had to go in the spirit of my ancestors.
All right.
Shake.
My mother, her mother, the men, my father, all of those ancestors who hold us up on their shoulders. My father used to have a saying, he used to say that our job is to advance the next generation.
That's right.
And I believe that more now, at any time that I have in my life. If we cannot protect our home, what good are we? If we cannot protect our children, what good are we? There are people that don't give a rat's behind about us. If you go out there and kick a dog, you're going to have you had 30, 40 people want you behind in jail.
That's true.
But they are environmentally assaulting us every single day, and there's no cry for our children. There's no cry from them. Why? Because they are capitalists. They don't give a damn who they hurt, kill, maim, hinder, as long as they can make a dollar. You know, you heard the man say he was a millionaire, but he retired. You know, money and power and money. It goes hand in hand. And you know, and don't make no mistake about it. I could have pointed it out. It was an observation that didn't even need to be noted. You have all of those people in the task force. They all Caucasian. Ain't none of them from this community. And I cannot tell you the countless amount of times that occurs when people are making decisions about us and we ain't even in the room. Y'all saw me carry that chair. I carried their chair for a reason. For actually 2 reasons. Because I've been known to cut a fool. But also I carried it, you know, as a historical marker of who we are as a people. You know, and it came from a quote, you know, Shirley Chisholm said, if they don't make you a seat at the table, then you take a folding chair. Okay? You take a folding chair. But you take your lead at that chair. This is our community. They are talking about displacing members of our community. 120 something houses, 4 churches, a freaking daycare, and businesses. And we say a big hell no. We say that we have the power to stop it. This thing today was an exercise in that power.
That's right.
That's all it was. That's all it was. We put out the back call and many people showed up. And our allies showed up. And their allies showed up. Because we are all in this in solidarity. All of us. You know, across this country they are hurting black and brown and indigenous people and those of us who are not economically well. Our white brothers and sisters in communities that they are decimating. And I'm telling you, we all can do something about it.
That's America.
Understand, they left the hell here shook. Understand that. Understand, it wasn't what they expected. You know, people think they're going to come into your community and give you smoke and mirrors and throw out millions of dollars. We don't give a damn about no millions if we can't breathe.
That's right.
If we can't breathe. So you take the millions to your wife. And I mean every word of that. Because we're okay. So, you know, as Circle, and let me say the name of this organization again, Chester Residents Concerned for Quality Living.
You're here.
We don't back down. We ain't scared. And you damn sure can't buy us.
That's right.
And we will stay on this battlefield for however long it takes.
Yes.
And when I'm not here, it's going to be somebody else.
Yes.
And it's going to be somebody else until we eradicate our community from things that want to kill us.
That's
Period.
right.
Thank you.
We're next going to hear from City Councilman Stefan Roots, the nominee, and I would say mayor-elect of Chester.
What we saw today demonstrates the new Chester. People came out for a cause that's really important to them. I've been saying for years that Chester's only issue is that we don't do a good job with reputation management. We get banged and hit and accused of and blamed for so many things. But what you saw today is a demonstration of the new Chester, of the Chester fighting back, of the Chester representing itself. Not just screaming and hollering, but with intelligence and purpose. I am a city councilman in the city of Chester. The buck stops here. All right? We can fight all this on the front end, But when it all comes down to it, there's going to be an ordinance, a resolution, a policy, a procedure that's going to be in front of me and my colleagues. And we're going to have to vote. So I hope you got a good sense of how Chester's going to vote in the future for what they tried to present today. We're an industrial town. Industry loves water. We started out as an agricultural community. Small industry came through. Small businesses thrived. And now it's time to do it all over again. We can rethink this whole city and what it means to the county and what it means to the state. I wasn't happy with what I heard today from how they wanted to represent Chester to the state. I think it really came down to jobs. I always questioned when these people approached me about this project. The question I always ask is, well, how many jobs will it be? And I've heard all kind of answers. Well, today I heard the answer. 204 jobs here in the city of Chester. And it will be represented by people with some knowledge and some skills and some certification, of which they did not measure in terms of Chester people, but by county people. 24% of the people in the county are already qualified to work here. But we care about the city of Chester. How many of our people are ready for this type of work? It's not coming. It's not going to happen. We heard from the guy from FERC testify to let you know how tough this process is. There's already projects approved through FERC that haven't been built yet. There's already projects that have been approved by FERC that don't have the money to build yet, which basically means we're not even in this queue yet.
Yeah.
The chances of these new facilities coming on lessens the need for a new facility to come on the back end. I think it's a ridiculous project that these guys are trying to push through because of the likelihood that it will ever happen. Because of the fact that, what did they say? 8, 6, 12 years before the thing will ever be built. World economy will change. The gas needs in the country will change. The gas needs in the world will change. But what's not going to change is that Chester is going to change for the better. We can't wait for that. We have to do something now. So that's what I represent, the new Chester. The people in Chester have voted for a change in city government in a big way. I've got one of my new city council persons who's going to be coming on board real soon behind me. We took out the entire old guard, who, from what I understand, was in support of this project. So, again, I know for a lot of people, this is new. This is a new optic. Get used to it. Chester's going to show up and show out.
Showing up and showing out. Well, the next one that's going to do that is Pick a Dre from Chester.
Give yourself a round of applause. You could have been a lot of places. All right? Give yourself a round of applause. You could have been a lot of places. And we want to stay here, okay? First and foremost, I like to say that charity starts at home. And home is not necessarily where you live. It's in your heart, right? And as a native of the city of Chester, I care about the people of this city. I have family members, right? This industry proposes a threat to our health. It reduces the quality of our living, and it prevents the productive progression of our youth. The youth are the future. So one important thing that I noticed that was overlooked is that the dollars were prioritized, but the quality of life and the health of the people were minimized. Our representative, Councilman Roots, he spoke about it's 35,000 people roughly in the city of Chester. This city is 5-mile radius. We have all of these capitalistic industries that are here that are dumping on our community. However, what is giving us something that is essential? What is essential is life. Essential is food, water, and shelter. Our representative also talked about how we start off as an agricultural community. We want to go back to green, but we don't want to have something that's counterproductive. So again, I want you to think about these people who are coming into our community, and you look at this panel, I didn't see diversity of the people who were investing into this particular capitalist project. They don't have any investment inside the people. The power is ours. So I want to encourage everyone to fight against this capitalistic industry that doesn't have the best interests of the people, and I'll land there. Thank you.
And to show the solidarity that I mentioned at the top, We have people here from Philadelphia as well who came down to support Circle and Chester and everybody here to show a united front. So I'd like to introduce to you the Shamar Pitts from Philly Thrive.
Thank you. So today, it's the first time I was at a hearing like this today. It was a heck of an experience. And this is the reason, it just reminded me of the reasons why I come out and I'm on the front line for cities like Chester. Because it's people like me that live in Chester. And people like me, they're not talking about us when they talking about the economic developments and all how the money gonna be made. They're not talking about us. They're not talking about our schools when they say money gonna go to education. We know for a fact our schools always get the short end of the stick when it comes to money trickling down to black and brown schools. We know that in Philadelphia. We know that in Chester. We know that. So they're not talking about us with all the economic enrichments. They talking about the people that was on that panel. That's who going to benefit from the economics and all that stuff when it come to that. Now, we're going to get on the LNG and this whole thing about LNG. First of all, let's make no mistake about it. Fossil fuels is big business in Pennsylvania. And that's what the issue is. There's a lot of money to be made in fossil fuel industry in Pennsylvania. And why? Why? Because like they said, we could outsource it to the whole world, right? Why they want to put it in Chester? Why they want to pile it on us?
Why is that?
Why they want to contaminate us? Because they don't care about us. So all that stuff about how we going to benefit economically and all of that, think about how we going to die if y'all put that stuff here. Think about how we got to deal with the pollution from Philadelphia and from all over the place in Chester. We know what y'all trying to do. We ain't stupid. So don't try to act like fracking is good and LNG is good. Let's go green. Let's go green. Let's not act like we don't know what time it is. Because first of all, you destroying the planet. Ain't nobody going to be benefiting economically if the planet is gone.